the NIT on ESPN. Gorgeous Orange County, California. Home to Disneyland, some gnarly surf, and some of the biggest stars in the world. Tonight, it's the site of a high-stakes showdown between UC Irvine and UAB. Win or go home. Both teams trying to punch a ticket to the NIT semifinals, and waiting for them, you see right there, Chattanooga and North Texas. Welcome to the OC, everybody. He's the NBA champ, the big baller, Scott Williams. I'm Pete Sousa. Scott, as if a loser leaves town match wasn't enough tonight to get excited, we get a chance to watch Jax Lendeborg. He literally, for UAB, is rising up draft charts as we speak.
I love this kid, Yak Attack, because this kid is constant energy and motion the entire basketball game. All he does is lead his team in points, rebounds, steals, assists, and block shots. Only one other dude in college basketball can say that they've done that, and that's Cooper Flagg, and he's supposed to be the #1 prospect in the NBA. Oh, and did I mention 25 double-doubles on the season, leads the country in double-doubles. So fantastic player to watch. And on the other side, you want to advance in brackets in March, you got to have guys step up. And Justin Holm, 22 points, a career high on 7 and 15 shooting. When his team was struggling to shoot 40%, he carried him across that finish line.
An exciting game coming to you from UC Irvine. UAB, look for the tempo. They like to get up and down the floor. They average 83 points a game. That's 15th in the country. For UC Irvine, they will wear you down. Their bench is deep. They play physical, and they got a 7-footer named Ben Loishton, who we'll be hearing from awfully soon. DeBoy McGee drops it off. There's Christian Coleman, too strong, coming down with the rebound, Miles Che.
Wow, but a good look underneath. I love the way they share the ball with that interior passing. Coleman coming off a 20-point performance. Really missed one field goal in the last game out on Sunday.
Jump hook. Off the mark from Till. Free try. Rattles out.
We expect there to be some nerves early in this basketball game. You see 3 really good looks, and none of them have gone down.
Welcome to Orange County, California. UC Irvine and UAB NIT quarterfinals taking place right now in front of us, alongside the NBA champ Scott Williams. I'm Pete Sousa. You have joined us just in time. All you missed was one bucket, a slam dunk from Jax Lendeborg. You'll probably get more of those. Jurian Dixon would like more of those. First bucket of the game for the Anteaters is a tray.
Well, you got to love that. Both teams going inside, playing inside basketball for UAB. That steal by the Yak Attack and the slam, and then the inside-outside attack for the three-point shot.
Hone on the right side. He'll hoist. Big rebound from Christian Coleman. Look at him racing up court.
Can't give Hone those open looks. He knocked in 4 triples on Sunday against Jack State. He made it look real easy. Gets on balance, and he's got a super smooth stroke.
McGee, pure point guard, drops it off for Coleman, who glides to 2.
See, Coleman just uses his length so well around the basket. Doesn't play outside of his ability. Allows a lot of his point guards and shooting guards to get him opportunities close and in that, around that paint.
Dixon pulls up at the elbow, floats it to Che. Shot clock at 8. Step back from Miles Che. Too short.
A little bit more than Che wanted. They're going to get out on him and close out on his three-point shooting ability. One of the best on UC Irvine, and knocking in the triple.
Way short is McGee.
Yeah, that's not what UAB wants. They are not a three-point shooting team.
Oh, how about that rejection from Tony. Till strong to the hole, no good. Both teams really struggling shooting the basketball. 3 of 11 combined.
I love the way Big Yak can take that ball off the backboard and dribble it all the way across the half-court line into the scoring area.
And there he is, Jax Lendeborg, rising up draft boards as we speak. McGee jackknifes into the hole. He is rejected by Loishton. 48th block of the season for the 7-footer. Tills. Coming from behind was McGee. Tills gets it over to Hone, who misses again.
Well, we thought we'd see some Cole shooting early on in this game. Look at Coleman racing it to the other floor. He draws the foul.
And there is Christian Coleman. As we take a look at our bracket, so this is what it looks like right now. You just saw Loyola Chicago punch their ticket to the semifinals. So one more spot left. These two teams right now, little tango to keep dancing and go to Indianapolis to play at historic Hinkle Fieldhouse. Christian Coleman at the free throw line shooting 2.
Have you been to Hinkle before, Pete?
You know I never have.
I've had the honor, at first a historic building, so much history there, right? Indiana, the hot bed of basketball. And when I was with George Karl and the Milwaukee Bucks, he took us there so we could have a practice at Hinkle. It was so cool.
Hickory. That's what they say.
That's exactly right.
Christian Coleman.
Nice job by Coleman towing that line and knocking 2 in. And, you know, that's exactly where UAB would like to be. They'd like to outshoot UC Irvine from that free throw line. Irvine, one of the top free throw shooters teams in the country.
2-man game, a brick for Che.
That little horns high set, just bring Che off that left side.
McGee too fast for his own 2 feet, finds Coleman. Another shot at a free throw after another 2-point field goal.
C has come to play. This guy is attacking that basket. Now give him 2 buckets inside and a couple from that free throw line. You love when guys share that basketball. That's how you get off that launch pad quickly.
UAB out of the gate quickly against UC Irvine. Irvine just shooting 1 for 8 so far this game, but the faithful is here. And so is Andy Kennedy. Second NCAA tournament appearances. His team just about 2 years ago made it to the final of the NIT, and last year made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Kennedy in his 5th season at UAB. On the other side, Russell Turner. Second 30-win season of the program history for the Anteaters, and Russell Turner has been the architect.
Yeah, 4-time conference coach of the year as Coleman finishes off that 3-point play. What a start for Christian Coleman. I told you he's coming off that 20-point game where he's 8 of 9 from the field, go along with 5 rebounds. So continuing right where he left off, man on fire.
Yeah, keep your eye on Coleman. When he scores more than 15 points, this team is absolutely lethal.
Oh, illegal screen, big blow right there. You're going to turn the basketball over. That's the thing that just drives you crazy as a coach. You're already off to a slow start, then you come out of that timeout after you draw up that play, and your big doesn't get set on that screen. But that's on the guard and the big. Guard's got to give him some time to get over and get those size, 15s planted.
Vasquez controls over the right side. Bullies his way to the hoop, finds Coleman. Too strong, gets his own rebound. The Blazers second in the country in offensive rebounds per game. That was their first one of the night, thanks to Coleman. Banging his way to the 10. No problem having his way with Kyle Evans, 8 points early on.
Yeah, just Debo, right? I'm going to go inside time and time again. If you stop me, I'm going to get it back and go in again.
Breaking the scoring drought. Tills for 2. He's a second-team All-Big West player. He is their X factor.
Yeah, he's fantastic in their first round matchup against Northern Colorado, where he went for 25 points on 10 of 15 shooting. He knocked in 3 triples. He does a little bit of everything for this team. Second in the team in scoring and rebounds, excuse me.
Ball's knocked out of bounds over here. Clearly a distraction for Scott.
Yeah, I was ready to grab the rock. Did you see me? I was all feisty. I got these high tops on underneath the scorer's table. I was getting ready to go with it, baby.
I'm seated next to 15 years of NBA experience and 3 championships. I feel like I'm in good hands if that ball caroms over here. That's why I just stay cool.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm back in my hometown, man, just right up the road, right up to 605. I went to Wilson High School, where we won the state championship 40 years ago.
He's a weirdo, trying to look like Scott Williams at Hacienda High in the mid-'80s. Didn't work for him. And at the other end, Jax Lindenborg is too late, and right on time was Kyle Evans.
Well, UC Irvine, not known for their fast break ability. They got out quickly there and got a quick two before the defense had a chance to set itself. But inside again, go the Blazers.
Vasquez with a tough two. Coach Kennedy talks about his ability to score in traffic, absorb contact, and get it through the hoop as we just saw there.
Yeah, when you want to be one of the top 10 defensive players in the league, you better be able to have some guys inside that can protect the basket. And that's why they hold teams to 39% shooting from the field. Twos like that and the big German earthquake patrolling the paint.
Well, you got to give credit to Kyle Evans there. I talked about how Coleman had his way with him with an easy two earlier. Evans, no slouch underneath, playing gritty basketball. Here he is offensively. We'll go to the free throw line. By the way, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's from your era. I'm getting Jack Haley vibes from our boy Evans.
I love Jack Haley. He was fantastic at UCLA and, of course, the Chicago Bulls. But this guy was a nice bump off the bench. You come out, you shoot 1 for 8. You got to have somebody that come in there and give you a little bit of a lift. And Evans with the bucket inside. And now I love this one because it's great basketball. Utilizing that pump fake around the basket, get the defender to bite. When he's coming down, you go right up to his chest. I was just telling a young player yesterday, Jack Blizzard, that he was, well, how do I score over taller players? Like, utilize that head and shoulder fake. I don't think enough of these young kids do that anymore. Get that player up in the air and get yourself to the foul line.
Evans connects on the free throw. Earned his way to the free throw line with that head fake. And there's your look at Ben Lurston. Has been quiet so far. Back into the basketball game. At 7'1", can't ignore him.
But it looked like UAB had all that momentum, right? And they were going to run away with this thing in the first half. But here come UC Irvine with quick baskets inside. And it seems like they've taken the momentum back away from the Blazers.
Ethan Johnson being pestered right now by the Anteaters defense. First rebound of the game for Lurston.
Yeah, and the Anteaters defense, as a result of their offense, picked up. Now they're playing better defense.
Transition basketball. This time it's Hone for 2. Playing in his 150th game. That's the second all-time games played here at UC Irvine. Very comfortable here at home. Vasquez shakes some base, around and out.
Well, Irvine is still stealing a page out of the Blazers playbook, but trying to play much faster. I think this ultimately over 40 minutes probably is a better thing for the Blazers, though.
Jump hook for Lurston is short. Lindenborg grabs the rebound.
Yeah, you don't see Lurston this too many from that close down. He shoots 58% from the field.
And on the other end, a bucket for the Blazers. They continue to bang away.
Yeah, they're going to continue to go inside. Like I said, they do not have the ability to shoot threes. They made 11 threes in their last game, and they come from behind 17 points. They came back in the second half. They made 11 threes. They haven't made 11 threes all season. You tell me the Blazers don't want to advance to Tinkle Fieldhouse?
Oh, a strong take to the hole. Good defense inside, and the conversion put back up and in. There's Lurston.
Yeah, the giant German using his length so well around that basket. He doesn't jump over a park bench, but he is so long, it doesn't take him long to snatch a ball away from a defender and just grab that thing and put it back in.
I'd like to see you try to jump over a park bench.
I just turned 57 on Friday, but I might have to get a video of someone taping me jumping over a park bench. You don't think Williams can still get up off the floor, do you? Okay, all right. I see where you're coming from. I'm like Denzel Washington now in training day. I'm ready. Let's go.
Vegas odds are at even. Long three off the mark. Lindenborg, potential first-round pick in the NBA, playing unselfish. Leads the team in assists with 153. Moore can't do him justice there. Short on that try. In transition, Jurian Dixon, the Big West Freshman of the Year, says, yep, I'm here.
Well, they're catching the Blazers a little flat-footed and gaining back on defensive balance, and they are just ramming it right down their throats to the basket.
The OC, the Laguna Beach, an absolutely gorgeous day, picture perfect in Southern California today. And it took a lot for UAB to get here, Scott. I mean, they really haven't been home in about 18 days. I think they spent one night in Birmingham, but when you include their conference tournament and then they go to Philly to open up a 6-point underdog against St. Joe, I should mention, at Hagen Fieldhouse, where they won that basketball game. And the beat goes on. They're collecting miles, though, aren't they?
Yeah, frequent flyer miles for days. He uses in the summer for sure. That Coach Kennedy, hey, he's using excuses. This guy, 40 years ago, we took him official visit. We thought about going to Georgia Tech together.
You and Andy Kennedy on a recruiting visit to Georgia Tech.
That's how far we go back. He came right up and said, "You remember our time down in Atlanta?" And I said, "No, I'm too old. I just turned 57." But we had fun, and then reminiscing about that. But hey, let's give a lot of credit to this UC Irvine Anteaters team here. They have handled the pressure of the initial blow by UAB Blazers, and now we got ourselves a one-point game, and you got to give a lot of credit over there to Coach Turner. He settled his team down, and they're playing much better, more under control, more balanced defensively, and they're getting out and running in transition.
13-4 run right now for the Anteaters. They have responded. Luxembourg trying to answer back himself around it out there. It's Coleman again, blocked from the backside by Leuchten. Second block of the night for the big fella. Turnover, first of the night for UC Irvine. 3 tries. Butter. That's not Butter Johnson. That's actually Tyron Moore, but we'll hear from Butter Johnson soon.
Yeah. More that defense and transition triples is what Coach Kennedy wants. That was fantastic to steal. And then the moxie to pull up from 6 feet from behind the arc.
Leuchten having problems inside with the athleticism of Coleman and Luxembourg.
Yeah, but see, he just takes his time, right? It's like he's got that internal 3-second clock in his hand. He's like a big mudslide underneath that basket, just with some good footwork and real skilled player. And he draws fouls and he gets to the line. And this might be the best shooting big man in the country, shooting 82% from the free throw line.
And you're exactly right. And to that point, Leuchten is 12th in the nation with 7.1 fouls drawn per 40 minutes. That's according to KenPom. So this is a guy who not only gets the opponents in foul trouble, whether it's on the floor or in the act of shooting, but when he does get to the charity stripe, as you mentioned, we saw his first make, he's shooting 80% on the year. This team, as a unit, is shooting over 80%. Good for second in the country. You don't want to send these guys to the foul line.
Now, and here's another point, too. Like, generally in the late game when you're trying to assault one-on-one, you got to get one of your little guards, and it's hard to get it to a guard. He's a big target you can throw the ball to. He can catch it, and when they foul him, he makes them pay with an 82%. That's why, another reason why he gets to the line so much. He salts games away from them as a big, hold on into leads. Well, listen, we knew we were going to have ourselves a heck of a ball game, and it is living up to the billing here in this first 9.5 minutes.
Moore, heat check, splash.
Back-to-back triples for Moore. One on the right side, one on the left side.
5-point advantage right now for UAB. They have answered back in the face of that run made by Irvine. Inside Aaron pass from Torian Lee, knocked out of bounds by Tony. Leuchten says, hey, you got to get that to be higher.
Yeah, 100%. But how about this one more time by Coleman? He just comes over like he's going to set a pick, and Moore says, no, I got this. You just face out, let me operate.
Moore, probably one of the best pure shooters on the team, according to Andy Kennedy. Is a shot maker, has had trouble this year getting his shots off. Tonight, no such problem. Miles Che activates. That's what they do. That's that shot fake you talked about.
Yeah, Che's really rubbing on that right shoulder, but that's exactly what you got to do, right? Hey, it's March, and it's late March, and you got to give everything for your team. Was that Moore he got up off the ground there and with that head and shoulder fake, and then when he's coming into you like that, you got to make sure you get that contact so the officials will blow that whistle. Jay, another good free throw shooter. This whole team shoots good free throws. I think they're like 80% as a team. I think it's good for first or second in the nation. It's amazing.
Women's basketball, the best time of year for it. Here is our women's Sweet 16 matchups for Friday on ESPN and the app. North Carolina and Duke, they tip off at 2:30 Eastern time. Then Maryland, the Terps, taking on the #1 seed in Dawn Staley, South Carolina. That is followed by Kim Mulkey and LSU squaring off against NC State. That one starts at 7:30, and the night is capped off by Ole Miss and another #1 seed. You got to watch to see Lauren Betts in UCLA.
Oh, she's fantastic. And my Tar Heels beat Duke, please. And then I'm so sad about Juju Watkins going down with that knee injury. I felt so bad for that young lady.
Yeah, that was a tough watch. Happy that she's just a sophomore with some time to recover and get back in the action. Now there's a big miss by Luxembourg. Che creates some room with his right arm and misses the jumper.
Yeah, Che started 1 for 8 the other night, but he is, oh my gosh, Coleman, they're so quick the other end. I can't even get out of the way of your commentary. They are lickety-split in transition. Both these teams are running tonight.
Big offensive board for the German. Here's Lee. That three's no good, and Coleman gathers another rebound.
Yeah, and Coleman says, okay, let's make sure we walk this one up here and get a good shot. Maybe both teams a little bit gassed. You mentioned all those miles that UAB has logged on this road trip. And this guy, they're like gym rats. They were slow to leave shoot-around today. I heard they had an optional shoot-around last night, just no coaches, and it came in last night. They just turned that ball over in the corner.
That was their first turnover of the night. Committed by Tony. We have seen the bench so far from UAB. As we see more go back to the bench. They don't go as deep as UC Irvine, but tonight so far, Andy Kennedy has gone to his bench rather early. What do you make of that?
I think understanding. Listen, yeah, my guys are getting a little tired out here. I got to give some guys some blows because we're not gaining back balance defensively.
Che playing in traffic, almost loses it. Hone finds some daylight, darts to the hole, circling it now like a hockey player. Shot clock at 5. Too hot to handle for Dixon, knocked out of bounds.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Irvine was setting some big screens, and Holmes was dribbling that thing around the way I used to watch Steve Nash do it with the Phoenix Suns, but he just couldn't find anybody to pass it to. You got to give the guys in the green shorts a lot of credit. They got down in a defensive stance, slid their feet, and gave up nothing.
4th turnover of the night for UAB. McGee directs traffic. Lindeborg pumps it to the corner. Butter Johnson draws 2, maybe 3 now. Lindeborg, nothing but the bottom of the net, and that is why scouts are so excited about this young man, and they're saying he might be a first-round guy, Scott.
Yeah, you know, Coach Kennedy said he reminded him of Apollo Banchero, a guy down in Orlando Magic, and I can see that, you know, 6'9", 240, solid, does a little bit of everything with the basketball. He can shoot it a little bit, he can pass it, he's got great court vision, and he's only been playing basketball for 5 years. Are you kidding me? Only 2 years of high school basketball.
You heard that right, folks. Just 5 years of organized basketball. There's the 5th guy all time in 3-pointers made at UC Irvine. Hone off the mark. Che is down on the floor.
Yeah, that's going to be the 14th foul on UC Irvine. Che just got caught up underneath one of the Blazers. It's just, I didn't want to foul him. I'm just too small down here. Watch out below.
Back here in Irvine, and there he is, Jax Lindeborg.
There's not too many dudes playing college basketball at 6'9", 240 that can drive that thing hard to the right, stop on a dime, get back on balance, and go up and knock down a mid-range jump shot. That was impressive. Just what I was getting ready to say. Hey, this dude's got to get going. He's only got 2 points. The team's struggling out here. He pulled one into his bag of tricks there and pulled out a masterpiece. Now give him 6 boards to go along with those 4 points and 1 Stockton.
And you know, Lindeborg's the guy who came back this year. He could have gone pretty much anywhere he wanted in the country. Came back to UAB, and what did he do? Improved his draft stock. That's a real tip of the cap to Andy Kennedy and what's going on with this basketball program with the Blazers as we now head the other end.
Yeah, these bigs are having a tough time getting set. before these guards come off. But Coleman, I believe that was Coleman, he just throws a little left shoulder forearm trying to free his guy from his defender, and they're going to call that every time. It's 28 feet right out there at the point of attack. The referees are all over that one. Coach Russ Turner, he was like making sure the official was going to call it. The official looked at him after he blew his whistle like, take it easy, I got it.
Irvine hasn't made a field goal in almost 4.5 minutes. Tills draws a crowd. Can't finish, but look at that. Evans from up above tips it in.
Well, I love that one by Coach Turner because you knew exactly what you had just said. They hadn't scored in a while, so he put the ball in the hands of one of his best offensive players and isolated him on the left side. He drew a crowd and allowed Evans to clean it up on the offensive glass.
Lendeborg whips it over to Tony. Remember, Lendeborg leads this team in assists. You saw that unselfish play. Tony couldn't convert. Tills working on Butter Johnson. Che. A little bit of space from the mid-corner. Short.
Yeah, Che had a big Coleman on him, knowing Coleman didn't want to come out on him. He tried to shoot a little mid-jump shot, but I think he rushed himself trying to fool Coleman.
Coleman already has 9 points. Give him 11. When this dude scores more than 15 over the past 2 years, the Blazers are 12-1.
How about him flashing the footwork down on that post, though, Pete? You see the spin move into the long stride away from the defender with the long pivot foot? That was lovely.
Owen dips into the lane. He tried to swing it across court to Tills. Out of bounds. 5th turnover for the Anteaters.
Hey, okay, the truck is on it. They showed me this last one. Look, I never had a spin move. That was so beautiful there. And as Evans comes over to challenge, he just moved right along Evans. He covered about 16 feet of floor space with one dribble and a spin move. Boy, I could have been a player if I had moves like that.
Lendeborg. Working on Tills. Tills gets him with the body. 2nd foul.
Yeah, Tills doesn't like it. And Big Yak's like, what are you kidding me? You bodied me for about 5 seconds over on this left side before the officials finally blew that whistle. So what is that now? That's the 15th foul now on the Anteaters, and we still got 5:24 to play. So, you know, kind of what the Anteaters generally do, I think the Blazers are doing to the Anteaters.
13 points for Christian Coleman. The guy worked at Walmart for 2 years after high school. I think he's found his calling.
Yeah.
On the basketball court.
Well, this is what I love, you know, because I wasn't drafted in the NBA. I love when dudes perform big in big moments, and that's exactly what Coleman has done these last 2 basketball games. 20 points on Sunday night. He comes back on fire here in this first half. And what do you say? He got 12 points?
13
points. I tell you, wow, that's impressive.
Shot clock at 4. This will be impressive. Dixon, too short. Rebound for Coleman. Butter Johnson from the corner, too strong. Chase guys for the rebound.
Well, Coleman and Big Yak are finding their perimeter shooters. They're just not able to knock anything down.
Big West Freshman of the Year, Jurian Dixon shakes free, buries a jumper.
I like Dixon, right? This is the second time now that he's gotten that basketball, moved it forward with one dribble, pull up. I mean, those are shots that you practice time and time again, and he's starting to get a little ugly for his team. A 7-point advantage, and all of a sudden come back and they get Coleman again with an offensive foul.
I think this time it was McGee. Jabari McGee, that's the 15th foul. That's his first of the night.
There, one more time. Let's see if yeah, they're just moving into those defenders as they're coming off screens. They're going to call those every time, especially when you're out above that 3-point line. Maybe get away with some of that stuff down low in the scrum, but certainly not when you're isolated out there above that 3-point line.
Late in the shot clock again. Anteaters have been deliberate. Last touched by Lendeborg, out of bounds. Shot clock at 4. We have got a good one here in Orange County. 5-point advantage for UAB. Both teams trying to punch a ticket to the Final Four in the NIT and go to Indianapolis. Thanks, gents. Hey, just so you guys know, this is the beach where Williams used to actually cut school and go hang out. And could you surf?
No, we had the boogie boards, the ones that you lay down on. But yeah, it was like we were state champs. It was May.
Don't go out there.
I went to the first half like till about noonish, something like that. I get partial credit.
Obviously, nobody told Coach Smith. All right, let's check out this report card. Game summary, field goals right now. You see Irvine having trouble shooting the basketball and 11 points off turnovers. That's huge. 5 turnovers early on for the Anteaters. Got to clean that up. Shot clock expires. And here's Coleman again as they come barreling right into us. Everybody's okay.
I got players from both sides. Then the official about to come over the table line.
Oh, there's Coleman, no problem. I think he came from behind the scores table for that hammer.
This Christian Coleman kid is must-see TV here in this first half. He gets the board, almost goes over the scores table, and then hustles down and gets the slam. Just show it off.
44% from 3, that's right. Loyston buries another.
Well, that was big right there, right? Because it was a big momentum play, that rebound, that dunk, and then all of a sudden Loyston comes back and says, no, not so fast. You guys aren't going anywhere.
Vasquez, the New York City kid, loves those mid-range jumpers. Can't get that one to fall. Loyston should have done it again. Coach Turner told us today he wants him to be more aggressive offensively with those outside shots. Pass that one up, and here we go the other way. McGee, Pistons always pumping, lays it up good.
They are so fast. This is how you score 82 points per game. You get out there and score before the defense can set itself. Che's got to find his big fella. He's working hard right now, but he's got to realize he's got a guy that can do some damage on the inside and the out.
And here is Loyston from 15 feet. Bodies with Lindeborg. Barrels to the hole, showing off that soft touch.
He's just so long, right? Like the defender's in great position, but Loyston's just so big, he moves him right up underneath the basket, and he's throwing that little lefty hook in, or receiving that right hand hook from 6 feet in front of the hoop.
He's got 9 points tonight, does Loyston. Burying a tray.
Wow, I'll tell you what, the bigs from UAB are having themselves a basketball game. Lindenberg and Coleman, what do they got here? Look at 22 points and 15 rebounds combined.
Owen hoists another 3. 7-point lead for the Blazers. They will slow it down. Andy Kennedy barks instructions. Lindeborg behind his back, launches the tray. Doesn't get the friendly roll, peels himself up off the ground, and chin checks home. Second foul for Lindeborg.
Well, Lindenberg got hit on that triple, kind of in the facial area. He didn't like it, and he got up, and you're right. He stopped that fast break and took the second team foul at second personal foul. He just jumped in here. He tried to steal that ball. He made a play on it, but certainly was going to make sure that, hey, listen, we're not going to give up any fast break opportunity here. Make you guys take it over there out of bounds from the side.
And I think there was a frustration, if I had to guess, which is what I'm doing right now, on his part of not getting that foul call.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that these guys are starting to jaw at each other just a little bit now. There's a lot on the line here. There's just some seniors that they want to keep playing. They want to earn a trip to the Final Four. I remember what it's like 35 years ago when I played my last game. You don't want to stop playing. You love putting that uniform on. Something you've been doing your whole life. You don't want that to end, that feeling to end. It's hard to recreate that any other place in life.
Won't see that often. Cone misses the free throw. Anteaters are second in the country from the charity stripe. And it looks like a trip to the charity stripe will be taken right now for Ezewiro, as we just saw the second foul on Loyston.
As a whirl, I'll tell you what, big, strong base, lower body. He caught that basketball and just used all of that strength to move the defender right to the basket. And he went up with it. There was nothing Loiston could do but commit the personal foul. So that's going to be that is the 6th. One more personal foul, and I'm surprised they were able to stay out of the penalty most of this half, almost all of it.
And that foul was officially on the floor. That's why you see the inbound. Vasquez controlled. McGee dials from distance, no good. As Awiro with the offensive board, no good. Flying in was McGee. A whistle is blown.
And that will be free throws the other way, because that's going to go against the Blazers, and they are over the limit.
Second foul on McGee.
That Coach Kennedy can't believe it. He's like, man, he got the offensive foul. I thought we were going to get 2 points. I thought we were going to draw a foul. They're 7th and go to the line, and instead it goes the other way.
Well, we talked to him for a while yesterday, or today, excuse me. Also talked to assistant Chris Shoemate sitting right next to him. And Coach Shoemate told us, hey, we got to totally get them out of layups and free throws. And so far tonight, they've done a decent job of that. As you see, there is Coach Shoemate right next to Coach Kennedy. But Che now at the free throw line. That's what Irvine does. Slowly but surely, they wear you down and they find themselves at the free throw line. But that's 2 straight misses from the free throw line for Irvine.
Yeah, can I just say about Chris Shoemate, he was so nice to come over and talk to us and tell us about the game plan. He's got a son who's turning 12 tomorrow. So Gates, happy birthday. Daddy's on his way home and he wants to bring you a W.
They're going to dinner tomorrow night for the birthday, right? Anteaters trying to eat right now. Third try. Dixon up and in off the offensive glass. 5 seconds. Coleman into the corner. But Johnson for 3. Rims out. And an entertaining first half almost comes to a wild close. Officially right now, a 5-point advantage for UAB, 36-31. Scott Williams, we have seen it all in this action-packed first half.
Yeah, there's not exactly accurate field goal shooting, but boy, are these teams playing hard. This is with all the marbles, a chance to go to a Final Four, keep your season alive. I love the energy and the effort.
Halftime coming up. We'll step aside and then get you to the studio. Send you over to Kevin Connors, Seth Greenberg, and Dallin Cuff. You are in good hands. Orange County, California. Gorgeous day. And that's a postcard for you right there.
Wow, doesn't get much better than that.
UAB 36, UC Irvine 31. Both teams looking to punch their ticket to historic Hinkle Fieldhouse and the Final Four of the NIT. He is the big baller, the NBA champ, Scott Williams. I'm Pete Souza. Scott, after high school, at just 6 feet 1 inches tall, I say just because we're talking in the world of basketball, Christian Coleman spent 2 years working at Walmart, right? And then he found his way to the basketball court. No more cleanup in aisle 7. He's cleaning up tonight. He's got 15 points and 8 rebounds, putting on an absolute show.
It has been fun to watch this guy, the way he uses his length around the basket. He's got fantastic footwork, and I love this one right here. Just a little power with a little finesse at the end of it, that reverse play. And then I love this one right here, just constant motion, moving without the basketball, finishing after the concentration. And we talked about that one. Wow, things that he can do with his footwork. 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 block shot in that first half. And then on the other side, the German giant. And how good is this dude right here? He's just a straight baller inside, and then he can stroke it from outside, showing his range. And this inside attack, I tell you, it's like a mudslide. It's just like a slow move. Effectiveness down there on that low block. So 9.6 rebounds. He's got 18 double-doubles on the season, looking for his 19th.
And talk a little bit about Coleman, or we talk about Coleman. We talked about it in the first half, or we did. When he scores 15 points, this team is 12-1 over the past 2 years. This is a critical game for them, and he is doing exactly what Andy Kennedy told us he needed to do for his team to win. And there you see him talking to a potential first-round pick, Jax Lendeborg, who has taken a back seat for the time being to Christian Coleman, who's been lights out.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing I could say about Yax. We watched him interacting with his teammates earlier this morning at the shoot-around. He absolutely loves being part of this team, part of this program. That's the reason why he stayed and came back. He could have gotten probably a bigger NIL bag someplace else from one of the Power 5 conference schools, but he just loves playing for Coach Kennedy.
Strong take to the hole by Tills, showing off his patience, and he'll head to the free throw line, it looks like.
Well, Tillis does a nice job, right? He's got those big, wide shoulders. Look at the arms on that young man. And he just puts his body right down that block. We talk about how good this team is shooting it from the foul line. He's an over 80% shooter from the free throw line himself.
And they are right on pace. Missed 2 free throws in the first half, but now they are 8 of 10 on the evening from the charity stripe. And that's what the Blazers wanted to do. UAB wants to keep these guys off the free throw line. So the more time the Anteaters can spend at the charity stripe, the better for them. And we see the lead now has been chipped away down to 3.
Yeah, and that's why they're so good defensively, because they're at that line so much. So after they make that second free throw, they fall back into their defense. Everyone's got their assignments, and they can get that defense locked.
Lendeborg is so smooth, does it that time with the left.
Sorry, Pete, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was silky smooth. And the ability now, I didn't see that left earlier today. That's the first time he flashed that ability to be able to play with either hand around the basket. Just an impressive young man.
Coleman, another rebound. Streaking into the forecourt. Royston may have gotten a piece on it.
Well, he ended up down in the band in the front row, and boy, he really got hurt down there on that right side. I think his shoes come off. He needs some help.
Yeah, Coleman is off your screen now at the other end, underneath the basket. We'll take another look at it. He is okay walking around.
I think something might have spilled when he went down into that first row, a drink, and he got liquid on the bottom of his sneaker, didn't want to bring it back onto the court. He's so polite. Next time, I'm sure Eddie Kinney would say, hey, don't worry about that. You hustle back on defense. As UAB now has only got a 1-possession lead here. And UC Irvine's come out of that locker room, and they've been ready to play. This guy, Miles Cheese, someone to watch. He struggled in that first half, 0 of 6 from the field. And he did the same thing on Sunday night, but came out and hit 2 big threes to start the second half. So the kid is fearless is what I'm saying. Just because he misses a couple in the first half, he doesn't shut down. He takes it upon himself to go out there and help his team in the second half.
Yeah, Coach Kennedy told us today he is a courageous player. Tony around and out.
Well, we've seen some three-point shooting in the NIT, but I don't think we've seen any worse than this in the first, what it was, 22 minutes of basketball we've seen so far. So just three-point shots made combined by both teams. Ice cold from behind the arc.
McGee controls one of the best junior college transfers in the country coming into this season. Puts the opponents in the spin cycle, but comes up short with the floater.
Yeah, great move to the front of the basket, but you got to finish that shot. Look at Big Yak down there, taking the ball away. Almost got it to steal. I don't know how many times I've counted, probably at least a half dozen, where he has maybe not come up with the steal, but he's gotten deflection that has slowed down that UC Irvine attack. And that's how they pretty much held him to 30% shooting in that first half.
Well, when you talk about Lendeborg, you have to mention he is the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the American Conference. Top 100 in steals and blocks. The only player in the country to reach that feat stat-wise. Royston, clean look.
I don't know how many times I got to tell these guys. It was no sun out today. It was maybe a little on the chillier side for both these squads. And it is, lack of vitamin D, I guess, has affected their three-point shooting. And nobody's making anything from out there. Royston's got 1 in the first half, but that's it.
Coleman with a double-double now. 17 and a half minutes remaining. Errant pass. Lendeborg gathers it. Activates. Shot clock running down. Vasquez steps into a 3, no good, but another rebound for Coleman. The Blazers second in the country in offensive rebound, showing it off, but there's a turnover. Transition 3 from home, no good. Coleman tries for another rebound. We'll say it was last touched by Royston, so it will go to the Blazers.
I hope they implement a rule change in the NBA. Guys can't shoot 25% from 3. You got to stop shooting them. I don't like going to these NBA games when there's 45 threes in the first half. You got Steph Curry can make some threes, all right? He might start a little slow. You can give him the green light. But if you got stats that say that you can't shoot 25% from 3, I don't want to watch you shoot 1 of 7 or 1 of 8 from 3-point range. Drive the ball inside, play inside out like we did back in the 90s.
Butter Johnson says, yes, sir. Eye off the glass.
Thank you. I mean, that's all I'm asking for. Just play smart basketball. Sometimes the three's not going to be there. I don't care what the analytics say to keep shooting it. You got to get yourself back on rhythm. You got to visualize that ball going through the basket by taking a mid-range jump shot. Getting a layup, working yourself to the free throw line. There was no foul 3-point shooter when you ain't made but 1 all game.
Tills. He'll go to the free throw line after a crafty move.
I'll tell you what, Tills, he's not the fastest guy, right? He's got a strong upper body, but his lower body isn't all that athletic. But he just figures out a way to fool his defender just enough to gain that advantage. And again, 84%, Pete, for a big from the free throw line. Tell me these guys don't get in the lab and work on their craft?
We asked Coach Turner about him. He said 2 words, underrated dude. Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on Thursday on CBS and TBS. March Madness. Let's go. For more information on tournament games, times, and networks, go to ncaa.com. I don't want to get you on another rant, but we have seen both of these teams go to the basket in the last 2 possessions. You talked about the threes. They're combined 6 of 26 shooting from beyond the arc. Both teams are 3 of 13.
Well, you're going to get me on that rant, Sousa, if you keep up, because this is what I like right here. Rick Stewart coming off that pine there. He bunching that one inside there, and you got to love that, right? So 2 buckets inside. Well, the other time went down, got to the free throw line, and that's just better basketball. They're more pleasing to my eyeballs.
Own. UAB now back in front, 5-point advantage. 15:50 left here in the second half for an opportunity to punch a ticket to historic Hinkle Fieldhouse in the Final Four of the NIT. Butter Johnson shakes free, rattles out. Loyston grabs the rebound.
And Loyston, he just snatches everything on. Look at this run out.
Dixon, little short. Lendeborg races across the timeline. The lob. Oh, and coming down from the rafters is McGee at 6'1". Seemed like he dropped from just about Newport Beach.
Yeah, I love that one right there, like a hang glider coming off the coastline. And Lindenberg slowed down just enough to give his buddy a chance to catch up on that right wing and then thundered down that jam.
Remember, Lendeborg leads this team in assists on the season. Leads him in every statistical category that folks talk about. The only other person in the country to do that is Cooper Flack.
Again, Tillis taking his time. He likes that left block. They like isolating him just off of that left block and spacing out the floor and letting him operate and throwing that left shoulder right hand right over the top of the defender.
Lendeborg leads this team in points, rebounds, steals, assists, and blocks. Only other guy in the country to do that is Cooper Flack. Almost had an assist as Awiro couldn't finish.
That ball licked every part of the rim. Unfortunately for Ezawiro, it would not go down. But look at that one more time. I love the high handoff. Keep your 3-point shots. Give me the high handoff 10 out of 10 times.
Back inside the Bren Event Center, Irvine, California. UAB clinging to a 5-point advantage, but the slugfest has continued here in the second half. Pete Sousa alongside the NBA champ Scott Williams, and that graphic, Scott, is telling.
Yeah, that sums it up right there, right? You know, holding your teams to 39-5, 10th in the country, and then tonight they got UAB right at that number, 40% in the first half, 40% here in the second half, so 40% for the game. Even skipping school after lunch, going down to Huntington Beach, I can do the math on that. Sousa. So, and again, it's part of the reason why they do that is they get to the free throw line so much they get a chance to set their defense more than 95% of the teams in the country.
Here's Tillis. Home from the front of his own bench. Inside of the 7-footer. The left hand up and in with the friendly roll.
Oh, nice use of the timeout there by Coach Turner. He got his buddy that basketball. Easy back down, one dribble. I think the UAB, especially with down the stretch, is going to have to come and make somebody else beat him. They cannot let Loish operate that close to the basket.
Operating too close for comfort. Lendeborg has it taken away. Crafty play by Che. Ahead to Dixon. And like a defensive back, McGee pokes it away.
How about that by McGee? Though you tell me these young men don't want to keep their season alive. The hustle back there, the total sellout in the air to get another deflection and knock that basketball away to stop that fast break. That's the effort I love about college basketball. You don't see that enough in February and March at the next level. These guys are laying it all on the line here to keep their season going.
Shea gets it back off the inbound. Loishton liked his odds against McGee, didn't get it to happen. Tillis for three, too strong. They are now 3 of 15 from deep is Irvine.
Yeah, too flat on that one. Great rebound by Home, though, to go in there and get that extra possession. Oh, another turnover.
As Owiro has it taken away.
UAB did such a good job in the first half taking care of the ball, but that led to another easy breakout. Dixon not going to be denied this time. We got ourselves a 1-point game. This place is starting to go bananas.
12 points for Dixon, the Big West player of freshman of the year. And a timeout called by McGee. It is a 1-point game.
Well, UAB got real loose with the basketball the last couple possessions, and this time Dixon makes them pay. Look at the extension and the elevation and the finish. That's a thing of beauty.
Irvine, California. Doesn't get much better than that. A bird's eye view of one of the most beautiful locations on planet Earth. Things a bit nastier down on the floor, 44-43. UAB with the lead right now, and you see the enrollment? 37,000, obviously the Big West Conference. Founded in 1965. Notable alumni. John Lovitz, who had a great run on Saturday Night Live, about
Super
5
funny.
years from 85 to 90.
Hilarious.
Greg Louganis, multiple gold medals won. And then Joe Lacob, the owner of the Golden State Warriors. All right, rank those 1 to 3.
Oh, give me Lovitz. I love the
Lovitz won?
Yeah, I love anybody that makes me laugh is going to be my number one. And, of course, the Olympian Louganis. Unbelievable. Look at that spot away by Evans. He says, hey, forget about me. An elite change.
Dixon! That's the first lead since it was 3-2 Anteaters at the 1841 mark in the first half.
Well, careless turnovers and a swat away at the basket on what looked like it was going to be a surefire two. You got to wonder if UAB is starting to run out of steam.
Oh, another block! Evans is on fire. His team on an 8-0 run. Can they add to it? Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they're beating them. You got to wonder now if UAB, all those miles, 5,600 miles, haven't been home in what seems like about 10 days, is starting to catch up with this team, mentally and physically.
Spent one night, just one, in Birmingham in the last 16 days. Lendeborg, top of the key. Tony for three. Short.
Yeah, I tell you what, you can't score inside. Your legs are gone from the perimeter. Haven't been able to make anything other than a couple triples all game long. You're giving up transition buckets off of block shots. 2 transition buckets. You're finding yourself now at a 3-point deficit. They were just enjoying a 7-point advantage.
Hone melts the shot clock. Here's Dixon, short. plays was a chance to catch their breath, slow things down, and come to the realization we're only down 3 points.
Only down 3 points, and they're going to go to this little high pick and pop, high pick and roll set. They actually bring 2 bigs up. Going to roll Coleman down in that block.
How would you like to see them stop the bleeding here?
Going inside. Let Coleman, he was the guy in the first half. Let him operate inside.
Oh, the incision is made. Operation Coleman.
Yeah, and I love that right there. A little Chicago style backhand layup, moving away from the basket. That was a thing of beauty.
Tillis. Folks here find that to be magnificent.
This place is coming unglued. They have watched their anteaters turn up the pressure defensively and offensively over the last 3 minutes.
Darting to the hole is McGee, and he's fouled.
Well, if you want to advance in March, you better get in the stance and play some darn good defense, and that's exactly what Evans is doing in that painted area and using it to get easy buckets out the other end. And not once, but twice Evans says, you shall not pass. Get that weak shot out of here, and this time he says, I'm going to run down there and get myself an easy 2 points.
We got a party in the OC. Back in Irvine, Devin Tillis has come alive here in the second half. 8 of his 10 points have come in this frame, and we still got 10 minutes and 15 seconds left. In UAB tonight, shooting 39.2% field goals, and we see the defense from UC Irvine has been tremendous all year long. 10th in the country, holding teams to under 40%.
And that's flat out getting it done. I mean, you got to give the players, we got to give the coach some credit too, but it really belongs on his players buying into what it takes to be successful. You don't win 30 games in a season trying to make that 31. You got to have a commitment to the defensive side of the ball. I love that because you just, like I say, I don't want to keep harping and banging on the guys at the next level, but you quite often you don't see guys get into a defensive stance and take pride in shutting the guy down in front of them.
Tillis hits his, McGee hitting his first free throw.
Yeah, they needed some points, right? A 19-10 run has flipped the score around, and McGee getting himself to the foul line there, cuts into that deficit. Now, what is it, a two-point game?
Yeah, the run officially is 13-4 now with those 2 free throws over the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Vasquez back into the basketball game. He's got 3 fouls. We'll have to be careful.
Well, it'd be interesting. Listen, this is exactly what Coach Kennedy said he was going to do. He said he was going to throw some zone defense out if he was getting in a bad way. So maybe try a different look here for the Anteaters, try to slow down that attack, make them think they were going to play against man-to-man. They come out of that timeout, all of a sudden they see this zone defense, and how do we attack it?
Maybe this is how. Tillis, first miss in a while.
Great job by Coach Kennedy, mixing it up with that 2-3 zone.
The board to Coleman. Coleman 17 points and 12 rebounds. Pick and roll. Oh, and Coleman's rolling.
Wow. That was an impressive roll. I mean, he caught that ball in some traffic, put it on the floor just one time quickly, and then was up, elevated before any of the smaller UAB guys, any of the UCI guys could get to him.
Tillis, second straight miss. Vandenborg, another rebound. Oh, wow. Third block of the night from Evans. Dixon on the other end with the punctuation.
Evans is the man defensively, swatting shot after shot after shot, stopping UAB right down in that paint.
Vasquez. That's that New York City grit to the tin.
He really did. He went right around Evans that time. He moved the ball from the left side to the right side, pulled that shot block. He said, you're not going to get to this one, and we're knotted up at 52.
Owen shakes free of Tony. Up and under off the window.
He just relaxed a little bit along that baseline, and gave Hone, who hasn't had the big night like he had a few nights ago, as more really lackadaisical. He just seems gassed almost gave that ball up at midcourt.
Second foul on Torian Lee.
Look at the concern. Look at Coach Kennedy. He can tell his guys, they're trying as hard as they can, but there's just not a whole lot left in the tank for his team. I don't want to say that they're out, but the reserve light is on.
Yeah, and this is not a huge secret. Coach Turner told us today, Scott, if we can take advantage of the fact that they've been on the road forever, right? The fact that their bench isn't as deep as ours, we'll be in good position, and this is the time where the execution of that plan comes into play. Vasquez has it taken away by Dixon. Out of bounds, last touch by Evans.
Yeah, but see, just a bounce pass that slow. It's hard for Dixon to get that. He's got a way. It allows the defender to come back and recover. And then as he's trying to go to the basket, he just loses that with a high dribble. But hey, let's give this guy a lot of credit. Number 14 going out of the game right here. Evans, boy, he has brought his A game to Bren Pavilion tonight.
8 points and 3 blocks for Evans as he takes a rest. Vasquez up again with the shot. This time he'll shoot 2 free throws. So Irvine surging ahead to a 2-point advantage. 8 minutes left for a chance to punch a ticket to historic Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis for the Final Four of the NIT. The Anteaters would love to hang another banner in the Bren Event Center here in Irvine. And an opportunity lays right in front of them. Historic Hinkle Fieldhouse awaits for either UCI or UAB. 8 minutes left to decide whose season will continue and who will go home.
Who wants it, Pete? Like this is it. This is what it's all about right here, man. I love this. I get goosebumps thinking back to my last moments as a college player. Like, you just want to survive and advance, and you're taking on the #1 team in the country or in the tournament. You just got to raise your level of play. And I think that's what we're seeing out of this guy, Kyle Evans. He's come off that pine and has lifted his bunch here in this second half and given his team a big boost.
Vasquez hits the first free throw. You know, you mentioned your college career coming to an end. And then we went to the pros, though, and we couldn't get rid of you.
Yeah, well, they didn't expect me to stay around long enough for a second cup of coffee, and I fooled those general managers for 15 years. Thanks to Michael Jordan and the 3 rings he put on my fingers to start my career. Yeah, I was labeled a winner before I even really got going, so I was excited about that. But I learned a lot, and I think that's what we're going to see here. What has UAB learned here in this the first part of this second half that they can now try to shut down this attack from UC Irvine? They've gone to this zone defense and slowing down this attack for sure.
Shot clock at 5. Hone hasn't made a 3 all day. Is now 0 of 7. Butta Johnson darts to the hole, pumps the brakes.
Well, that's good, right? You rushed it down there. You thought you had a fast break. They got back, and you slowed it down. Now you brought it back out. Now you can run your offense. A lot of time to operate.
Vasquez is a tough shot maker, according to Andy Kennedy. That would have been a tough shot if he'd made it, but he gets to go to the free throw line.
I'm not 100% sure, Pete. His objective was to make that shot. He saw that he had Miles G on him, and he just thought, I can get enough of an advantage where I can just draw a foul and get to the free throw line.
So back to the free throw line from Vasquez. 2 of 2 on the evening from the charity stripe. Chance to put his team back in front. UAB has led for most all this game. 26 minutes to be official. There's Kyle Evans with 8 points and 3 blocks on the bench right now. We will certainly see him again. Two more free throws for the Blazers and a 2-point advantage.
Yeah, look at the Blazers again. They're falling back, and now this is their 1-3-1 zone defense. They extend it just past half court, and then they fall back into either man-to-man, which it looks like they're going back to a man-to-man this time, or they'll fall that back into a 2-3 zone.
How does that impact the team offensively?
Oh, it just discombobulates them. Look at throwing the ball on loose spots, and you're used to going against certain plays. You got 4 or 5 plays that you run really well against man. All of a sudden now you got to go against the zone.
Tillis bails the Anteaters out and takes the lead.
Oh, and Tillis has been a different player here in the second half. Much more aggressive offensively. What is that now, a second triple here in the second half?
Second 3 in the second half for Tillis. Give him 13 points on the night. Lindeborg answers back.
Big Yak on the right side says, hey, this is my time now. 6 minutes to go. I'm the future NBA star of this program. I got to put my team on my back and lift them and carry them across the finish line.
Tillis is all lathered up. Finds Che. No good. Rebound for Coleman. 13 rips for Coleman. Vasquez. Too short. Rebound Loyston.
Too short, and I don't understand the shot. You had your big fella running down there, an advantage down there on that block. You got to reward him for using his wheels in transition and throw it inside. Silly shot.
Fouls on Butta Johnson, his first.
Is that the second time we've seen number 77 grabbing that right shoulder there? I know about shoulders. Mine used to dislocate and sublex in basketball games. You start holding that shoulder down or grabbing it with the other arm. I know he's in some pain. He's gonna try to fight himself through this. The sophomore, he played at Chattanooga. He wants to go face his mates in the finals.
Wow, Vasquez, he is quick. So crafty. Oh, but it'll be waved off because Lindeborg came from the backside and grabbed hold of the rim.
Yeah, he got up in the air thinking the ball was going to come off. He didn't try to make a play on the ball, but I think he tried to just regain his balance so he didn't fall over one of his own teammates and hurt himself. So he grabbed the rim. Look at one of his teammates up underneath him, and so he instinctively said, let me grab this so I don't come down awkwardly.
Mark that down at the 5:30 mark. Offensive goaltending in a critical game. Critical block from the backside by McGee.
Oh, McGee, wow, that closing speed, not giving up. We've seen this young man now twice make 2 really good defensive effort plays to help his team stop a basket.
The NFL scouts would call that. He's got real good reel-in speed. Tillis jackknifes into the lane and looks so smooth. Says, I'm going to rock the baby to bed right now.
Yeah, he hustles through that lane, gets by the defense, finds a clear spot on the floor on which to operate, and then he slows down, takes his time on his shot. He doesn't try to rush it over the shot blocker. He took his time and executed perfectly.
Lindeborg with the basketball. Just recorded his 26th double-double of the season with the rebound moments ago. Can't convert there.
All right, how about that big rebound by Tillis? 1 rebound away from another double-double. Got 11 for his career, trying to make it number 12.
Che tried to whip across court to Hone, taken away by Johnson, who was fouled by Hone in the forecourt.
Not necessarily a bad foul, 4:30 to play, just your 15th foul. Your team wasn't set defensively, so you make them take it side out of bounds. That's a smart play. I always say there are good fouls and there are bad fouls, and that's a good foul. I took a lot of good fouls during my time playing for North Carolina.
Oh, did you?
I'm the ACC's all-time personal foul leader, Pete. That's something Michael Jordan can say he never did.
So we're assuming those were all good fouls?
So some of them were good fouls. Some of them the other ones the officials just hated me or hating on me.
Hating on you. By the way, that was the first turnover by Irvine in the second half. So they have played a clean brand of basketball that's allowed them to get back in this one and take the lead. Lindeborg steps inside the three-point arc. Too strong.
Yeah, and that's a shot. That's his mid-range jump shot that he generally hits in a good spot on the floor to execute it. But like I say, when you're gassed, all of a sudden you're 55% shooter. Now all of a sudden that drops down by 10 or 50, maybe even 20% on this stages of the game.
Yeah, Lindeborg has played 35 minutes tonight. Almost all of this basketball.
Why? Coach Turner's over there with his head, both hands on top of his head. Tell us, like, why would you try a one-hand bounce pass in traffic to our 7'1" guy, know him higher than his kneecaps? Like, that's why Allen Iverson used to pass me the ball, throw it right on top of my shoelaces. So even if I did catch it, Pete, I had to just grab it and give it back to him so he could shoot it.
McGee. He's showing some nice lunge and a nice offensive rebound by Lendeborg, but it's taken away by Leuchten. McGee takes it right back. One-man fast break. Blazers out in front again.
Wow. Two sloppy plays, right? And all of a sudden, the Blazers get that live ball turnover, and that's what the difference in this game has been right now. Their points off of turnovers has been the difference in this basketball game.
Falling away is Hone. It's just not been his night. 2 of 11 shooting from the floor, 0 of 7 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, 3 minutes and some change to play here. We got a 1-point game, and I'm not sure which team wants to win this basketball game. We see a lot of short shots. We see some turnovers. We see them winning plays.
Coleman, that's the guy that got him here. He misses. Nice pass by McGee. That was intended for Coleman, but he couldn't handle it. A golden opportunity slips through the fingers of Christian Coleman. More time left for him to make good on that. 1-point advantage for UAB. Christian Coleman having a career night. 19 points and 13 rebounds. There was point 18 and 19.
Yeah, these guys have formed the dynamic duo here in this basketball game. I mean, look at the numbers on these guys. They combine 30 points, 25 rebounds on 13 of 26 field goal attempts and 1 triple for Big Yak. So they're doing their darn thing to try to elevate their team and move them 1 bracket and on to Indianapolis.
It's worth noting, Lendeborg gets his 26th double-double of the season. That's tops in the country. And for Coleman, when he scores over 15 points, again, he's got 19 tonight. Over the past 2 seasons, UAB is 12-1. So Blazers fans should feel pretty good right now. But the game, whew, you got to loosen the collar up a little bit right now. I don't care who you are.
Buckle up on both sides. It's going to be a wild ride for the last 2:45 with this one. And again, you see the Blazers have come out in that zone defense. It's kind of a matchup zone, right? So they'll come out a little higher when the ball reaches their area of the floor. Che with the 3.
You know, Michael Che on Saturday Night Live is funny. Miles Che, all business right now.
Wow, that was huge. The kid has done absolutely nothing in this basketball game worthy of speaking of, and he comes out and delivers a huge blow. Oh.
Triple teamed was Lendeborg. Kicks it out to Butta Johnson, who finds McGee trying to answer with a 3 of his own. Offensive rebound for the Blazers. Remember, they are tops in the country in offensive rebounds, UAB, and that's exactly the kind of position that they're in right now because of this hustle we've seen tonight for them, just cleaning the offensive glass.
Yeah, McGee needs to save that 3-point shot for the summer. He's 0 for 4. And in a 2-point game, he raised up like he was 4 for 4. I just don't understand why you don't throw it to the big guys that got it going so well. That's what I like to see him do. Use his wheels, like I said, and take it to the basket.
Darting to the hole and ties this one up. Under 2 minutes left. Couple of heavyweights slugging it out for a chance to go to historic Hinkle Fieldhouse and play in the Final Four of the NIT. Big West Freshman of the Year, Dixon, just off the mark. Lendeborg, another rebound. Christian Coleman, extra pass for Vasquez, who somehow finds a way.
How about the unselfishness of this basketball team? Coleman could have taken it in and powered against the big guy, but he saw his buddy running underneath the basket.
Che! Talk about an answer. He says, hey, take it easy on my shoulder. The foul is on McGee. That's his 2nd.
Miles Che, that is twice now that he has used that pump fake to perfection. Once in the first half where he hurt his shoulder, and this time he says, I'm throwing caution to the wind. Throws that head and shoulder fake, gets the defender up, and now the concentration finish, a chance for the 3-point play in the lead with under 1.5 minutes to play.
And just like last game in their victory, their comeback victory, he has 8 points in the second half. Another huge second half for Che. Misses the free throw, so the game stays deadlocked at 64. Lendeborg in the corner. Johnson raises for three, nails the triple.
Oh my goodness, what a find in that right corner. He come off the high pick and roll. Two bigs got together on a pick and roll, and indeed.
Che! What they call Che Sanity.
Wow! This kid is going bananas here in the last three possessions. Talk about stepping up with the game on the line. This building's going bananas. We're laddered up here at 67.
Inside of a minute. Both teams playing for their lives and a chance to go to Indianapolis. Lendeborg will shoot 2 free throws.
This place can't believe it, the way they've been letting them bang inside. But this is a nice, smart play here by Lindenberg. First of all, let's go back to that triple find over there in the right corner. Nice job. And then Che, he didn't even really gain an advantage. He just rejects the screen, comes back with that little inside-out, left-handed dribble, cleared him a little space, and he got a clean look at the front rim, and he took it.
While the rest of his team has been struggling from three, Che is 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. And here's Lendeborg. 2 of the biggest free throws of his career here for the Blazers. Hits his first. Here it is. For the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. And there's the Sweet 16 roster. Woo! Starts with Carolina Duke. You don't want to miss any of that action.
Well, the 76%ers towed the line and knocked in 2 big free throws to give his team a 2-point advantage. 41 seconds to play.
What are you looking for from Irvine out of here?
I want him to drive it to the basket. Little pick and roll here with the big fella underneath. Get him the ball.
Tillis controls in the corner. Irvine down 2. Tillis. Coach Turner says he's underrated.
Coach Kennedy wants to talk about this final play. He's going to, no, I take that back. He's going to let them play.
Locked at 69. The future first-round draft pick with the basketball. Lendeborg jackknifes into the lane and travels.
He can't believe it, but I think that was the right call. He slid that pivot foot after the contact before he could get back on balance.
Timeout, Andy Kennedy and UAB. Anteaters with the basketball and a chance to win it. What do you look for from Russell Turner's group here?
Well, obviously he can't advance it, so it's going to be Che in full motion towards the basket. The shot probably won't beat you. You got to worry about the rebound and the tip in with the length of the big German underneath, tipping this basketball in.
Loiston underneath the basket, off your screen. Tillis will inbound. Gets it to home. Up the left sideline.
I don't know about that. They burned a lot of time dribbling that ball from below the free throw line all the way out here to the NIT logo. And now they might get a 10th or 3/10 or 5/10 of a second back on that game clock, but that's going to be it. So even with being able to operate here darn near at the half court line, their chances of them getting a real high percent shot aren't very good. See how how far he had to come back to get that ball. And yeah, they're probably going to get 1.2, maybe 1.3 at the most put back on that game clock.
Officials, D.G. Nelson, James Fahn.
What you generally try to do, Pete, is throw that out of bounds pass to about half court, and I think that's what Che was doing. He was breaking towards our table here like he wanted to get a pass, but he was denied. So the pass had to go into the backcourt, and by the time they dribbled it up, they lost almost a good full 3 seconds.
And Irvine has called a timeout while all this discussion is going on. As of right now, 0.7 seconds left in the game. The clock will stay at 0.7 seconds, Scott. So not a whole lot of time to do just about anything
Well, you can catch and shoot with 0.7 of a second, so that is still an option. I'm wondering here, though, if they might just try to fire something down low to their longest player on the floor and see if he can't make some sort of a turnaround shot.
Or see if he can get fouled. Because Russell Turner knows that he is somewhat of a gold mine.
If these officials call another, that they blow their whistles one more time on a foul, I would be hard-pressed to think that anybody's going to get a whistle here at this junction of the game.
Here we go. Dixon, the Big West Freshman of the Year, inbounds. It's Che! Off the side of the backboard. All right, here's the good news, folks. We get some more basketball coming. Yeah. We don't want this one to end either. Locked at 69. We head to the extra frame. We are back in Orange County at the Bren Event Center in Irvine, California, where the home team, UC Irvine, had an opportunity to win the ball game here. What do you see, Scott?
Well, they're trying, I think, to get the ball down into the corner there for Tillis down there on that right side along the baseline, but he was denied. The backup, the second option was anybody else, but it went to one of the smaller players down there along the baseline, what is, back to the baseline, and Che, he's already holding that right shoulder, and he couldn't get squared back to the basket to get a decent look at a game-winning shot.
He is a tough customer, but nursing that right shoulder for most of the second half. Lendeboard had an opportunity to put it away himself.
Yeah,
he took one too many steps, so that was a huge turnover committed by him.
Yeah, a chance to play for an NIT championship is on the line here, and you expect to be some nerves, right, and not always see the best basketball tonight. But these dudes are playing hard on both sides. They're giving it everything they got, and I think any basketball fan across the country can appreciate that, from Birmingham to the California coast.
What's the thought process when you're in a huge game like this and it goes into overtime as a player?
Right, take care of that basketball. No live ball turnovers. Both teams are fatigued. No easy opportunities to score on breakaway runouts.
Leuston controls. It has been all Miles Che in the second half, and now overtime for the Anteaters.
And just a 15 foul on the Blazers. They've done such a good job of staying out of that penalty situation. So baseline out of bounds now for the Anteaters.
Fourth foul on McGee. He will check out of the game momentarily, I would imagine, for Tyron Moore.
Yeah, there's going to be some subbing for defense and offense. They get a chance to, on an offensive possession, be sure they're going to get him back in the floor.
Che inside for Leuston. That's something these fans have been thirsty for all night long, Scott.
That's what I've been calling for. You got one of the biggest weapons on the floor. Get him the doggone basketball. Let him operate.
Tyron Moore into the basketball game, one of the best pure shooters for the Blazers. Coleman with some space to work. It's been his night, but so recently he's gone a little cold. Here's Hone. Quickly into the forecourt. Dixon jab steps. Leuston working on Coleman. Close to the hoop and is fouled.
Well, they have decided the big fella's going to be the guy that's going to be try to carry him across the free throw line, at least get them started. You try to front him, but you get no help behind. That's an easy 2 points and good execution of the entry pass. Easy catch for the big guy. He's got such great hand-eye coordination. Easy finish. You go back inside to him again, and as long as Coleman is, he's just not as long as number 15. And you bring the double team over, you get two bodies on one guy. The officials will blow that whistle.
13 points on the night for Leuston. Is now 3 of 3 from the free throw line. He will get you into trouble. 12th in the nation with 7.1 fouls drawn per 40 minutes. That's according to KenPom. Getting him the basketball down low is lethal for the opposition. Now he's 3 of 4 from the free throw line on the night. His team is up 3.
Yeah, Susie, you jinxed him from the free throw line, saying what a good free throw shooter he is.
Looks like we have a foul off the ball.
I believe they called an offensive foul
on Yax Lindenborg.
Yeah, he's been barking at the officials, and I don't know if he got his feet set or moved into the defender a little bit, but yeah, they blew the whistle on him awfully quick there. So a costly turnover, and UAB can't get off the launch pad here to start overtime.
Blazers need a stop. Tillis to the hole after he reloads. Knocked out of bounds to stay here.
You take a look at this one here, Sousa. You tell me if the left arm gets into Che's body a little bit. Maybe didn't get that left foot down. The right foot looks like it's down, but the left foot still looks like it's sliding towards that baseline. So a good call by the officiating crew. They were right on top of it.
So 9 seconds on the shot clock. There's Russell Turner. Has built quite the program out here in Irvine. Andy Kennedy talking over a possible challenge.
Yeah, remember that's that new rule here in the NIT where officials can challenge on out-of-bounds play, but Coach Kennedy decided he was not going to challenge. He got the turnover anyway.
Vasquez looking for a pick six. That's a huge sequence right there for the Blazers.
Wow, what a steal, and Vasquez darts to the opposite end. We talked about no live ball turnovers are struggling to score, and you gave him an easy two.
Che creates space, doesn't get the friendly roll, and the foul is on the ground underneath. If it's on Lindenborg, it'll be his fourth.
It's going to be on Lindenberg on big number 15 down there, the German giant, trying to box him out. I thought he does a pretty good job moving him away from the basket. I just wonder if these officials aren't trying to paint themselves into a corner, blowing all these whistles each trip down the floor. Yeah, I don't know. You know, listen, he's got pretty good position, and Royston's trying to come back to the basket and maybe got up underneath him just a little bit.
14 points on the night.
Now remember, this is a 1-and-1 free throw situation. This is not a two-shot foul.
UCI 12 of 17 on the night from the free throw line. UAB 11 of 11. Jabari McGee will pick the basketball up at half court. He's got 4 fouls. Back into the game, directing traffic. Vasquez bullying his way to the basket. Foul is called on the floor on the freshman Dixon.
Yeah, going to be the 8th team foul, so not the double bonus situation. So again, another 1-and-1 situation. You mentioned the 11 of 11 from the free throw line. The UAB has really showed up here, concentrate and knock down their free throws, and Vasquez got a toe to that stripe. I say it once, I said 1,000 times. My old coach John Lucas with the Philadelphia 76ers, he said pressure creates diamonds or burst pipes. Let's see what Vasquez got pumping through his blood. Ice water.
11 points in the second half and overtime for Vasquez. Great atmosphere tonight. Vasquez 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Stone cold.
I love that concentration. You tell me these guys, like I said, it hasn't been the prettiest game, but steals and runaways for buckets and knocking down 2 free throw lines. UAB now has re-entered the fight.
Royston controls. Hands it off for home. Shot clock coming up on 10. Che has been the man of the hour in the second half. Steps through, walks through.
Yeah, nice call. Great defense by Coleman. He wouldn't let Che shoot that triple or any long distance shot. Got up on him, caused Che to slide up underneath him and travel. What a big stop defensively by the Blazers when they needed it.
10th turnover for UC Irvine. Jabari McGee sets the table. Butter Johnson. Boy, he gets up high. So does Coleman. Eating the offensive glass.
Christian Coleman in this basketball game has done a little bit of everything, and that big offensive board, his 15th rebound of the game, gives his team the lead.
To go with 21 points. Leuchten misses everything.
Show me Christian Coleman. You want me on that wall. You need me on that glass. Look at that, just faster than everybody else. Like he's got pogo sticks for legs up and down and back up again, and finish before the big German shot blocker can even react.
8 offensive rebounds on the night for UAB.
Yeah, I gave him 15 rebounds. He's got 14 rebounds, but that was a big one right there. Oh, and he missed the front end of the one-on-one, so 1 point lead for UAB.
McGee getting directions from Kennedy. Here's Lindebor. Faces a double team. Short arms a pass for Coleman, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, a little too unselfish there. You're the big dog. You got to play like the big dog right there. You wouldn't have seen Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan pass that basketball away in that position. You got a left shoulder, right shoulder under defender. Throw that little lefty hook over the top. Live with the consequences.
Vasquez steps to a double team and finds Coleman. The unselfish sequence.
Listen, the unselfishness around the basket, and look at the UC Irvine guys are saying, hey, coach, challenge this shot. We think it went off of Coleman. Oh, I think it went off the backside of Dixon's hand, to tell you honestly.
There's Russell Turner.
Yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't challenge in this situation with a minute and a half to go in overtime. You might get the benefit of the call.
So we have an official review underway. 75-74. UAB clinging to a 1-point advantage.
It hits Coleman in the face, and then it comes off of Dixon's forearm and then the back of his left hand, and I believe it goes out of bounds before Coleman, who's trying to catch up with it, doesn't get to it.
1:35 left in the ball game. Assuming it will be UAB's basketball, what are you looking for from Andy Kennedy's team coming out of this stoppage?
Yeah, 8 seconds to shoot, right? You got a baseline out of bounds play, so plenty of opportunity to execute your best baseline out of bounds play against man defense. And I don't know if that's for a mid-range jump shot or something that takes the ball back out and then back in, or if you're going to run that play where the most dangerous guy on the floor will be the guy taking the ball out of bounds for a shot in the corner, maybe even a triple out of the corner. Yeah, if Coach Turner does not get this basketball, I wouldn't be surprised as he says, okay, if we don't get this call overturned, we're going to come out in the zone defense. Try to throw what UAB's attack's going to be, thinking that they're going to be in a man-to-man. But they haven't gone zone all night. I don't think they're going to change here.
Double bonus.
Andy Kennedy. He told his team at a timeout in their last ball game when they trailed by 17 against Santa Clara. He said, hey, you guys done? You want to go home? And they said, Coach, we are not done. And he challenged them in that huddle, and they came storming back from 17 down, and now here they are, knocking on an opportunity to go play at historic Hinkle Fieldhouse. What's in the way? Russell Turner and his UC Irvine Anteater squad. So it will be UAB basketball. Clock will stay where it is. So with 1:35 left, the Blazers will have the basketball with 8 on the shot clock.
Well, if they can't get this ball in bounds, you shouldn't force it. You got 2 timeouts left, and I think you tell that to whoever's taking this ball out of bounds. Don't turn it over. Call timeout. Let's reset our play.
Johnson triggers the inbound. Oh, McGee raises high and knocks it down.
Well, that was beautiful execution. You got McGee coming off kind of like a little picket fence along that baseline. Tillis for three.
Sticks it. We are tied once again.
Tillis with his 3rd triple in the second half. A cold-blooded 3 with little time coming off that game clock. Knocks us up at 77.
Lindebor Walks the tightrope. Finds Vasquez. Vasquez between a double team. Finds Johnson. Shot clock at 5. Coleman says, I'll do it myself. Around and out, and it's tipped to Tillis. A whistle is blown. It looks like we might have a foul on the Anteaters.
Yeah, you got Tillis underneath. They're battling with Yaxel Lindenberg underneath for that rebound, and they're going to send Lindenberg to the free throw line for 1-and-1.
So on the season, Lindenberg is a 76% free throw shooter.
Yeah, just see him holding his left arm down so he couldn't elevate with both his arms.
He is 2 of 2 from the charity stripe tonight. Just his 5th year of organized basketball. Misses the front end. We are still tied.
Yeah, he short-armed that one. Little nerves in that first free throw. Now they got to get down and try to get a stop. One side pick and roll. Tillis and Che.
There is the screen. No roll from Loyston. Che dissects and finds Loyston. "13 points for Che and a timeout for UAB.
Good, smart basketball by Miles Che there. Goes off that pick and roll. Takes this big man's defender well down. Look at this. One extra dribble just to make sure the defender's coming with him. And then he flips it back to his big with a high percentage bucket right in the middle of the basket.
7 points in overtime for Loyston. Obviously a concerted effort by Russell Turner and his staff to get the 7-footer the basketball in the final 5 minutes of the game.
Well, we always say it all comes down to the end, right? Taking care of the basketball and making your free throws. And Yaxel Luxembourg could not go to the foul line and make that front end of that 1-and-1. And right now, that's the difference of the basketball game here. But if I know Andy Kennedy, he's going to put the ball back in the hands of his superstar and see if he can operate and tie this basketball game up.
You make a great point. It's become clear that if it's up to him, and he told us this, that Lindenberg will be the guy. Right? He's the guy to take the big shot. He's the guy in the big moments. He's the guy the offense runs through. So he will touch it on this possession. And it's pretty much up to him because he can be, Scott, unselfish to a fault, leading the team in assists coming into tonight with 153. Will he be unselfish or will he take control?
I think he's going to take control. I think this is his moment to shine. And what the UCI Anteaters want to do, though, they want to make it from as hard as possible without fouling him.
Vasquez set to inbound. Crafty veteran from New York City gets it into Jabari McGee, one of the best junior college transfers in the country coming into this season. But Johnson off a screen. And it'll go to the Anteaters. Nobody touched him, and nobody touched the ball, according to the officials.
Well, Coach Kennedy rolled the dice and decided, I want to try to go for the three-point shot in the lead rather than throwing it into one of my bigs to try to tie this basketball game up. Now he's got a foul if he does not get this steal within about 4 or 5 seconds of that game clock.
Hone lost the basketball.
He took his eyes off the ball, looking where he was going to go with it, and lost it and giving it back to the Blazers.
11th turnover for Irvine. I mean, that was basically like a wide receiver looking up the field to the end zone before the basketball, or football in that case, would be in his hands.
Yeah, and with one timeout, you can see Coach Kennedy shouting out instructions to his team. He's not going to use his timeout. He's just going to let them operate.
It's Lindenberg this time. To the hole. Loyston's in his way. Gets his own rebound. 5 on the clock. No good again. Tillis has it and controls it. He is fouled by Vasquez. Fifth foul. That'll do it for Vasquez. Not so much for UAB. They are still in this game down 2, but here's how we got here.
They went to their big man and let him operate. He got down there with 3 opportunities to try to score that basketball, and Long arm in the loft, patrolling that paint. Just would not let him get that ball in the bucket. So still with 2.6 seconds, it's still not over yet. Tillis has got to make both of these free throws to ice this game.
UAB has one timeout remaining. Tillis drills the first free throw. 84% free throw shooter on the season. That's the guy you want at the line. And that's the guy you wanted with the basketball at the end of the game. Another shot coming for Tillis. It's a two-score game.
Now all you do is just get away from everybody.
McGee will launch. It's all academic at this point. UC Irvine from the OC to Indianapolis.
Congratulations to the Anteaters. It was a hard-fought victory in overtime, and they persevered through some adversity at times. They come from behind to win this thing and punch their ticket to Indianapolis.
20 of his 22 points, talking about Tillis in the second half and overtime. He rose to the occasion at the big moment, Scott, and that's when true players are made.
Yeah, huge three-point shot after the Blazers took a three-point lead to knot us up at 77, and the two free throws at the end to ice the game. What a performance by that young man.
31 wins on the season for UC Irvine, and the Anteaters are not done yet. Heading to historic Hinkle Fieldhouse after they catch their breath in the locker room. The celebration is on in Irvine. There's Tillis, and there's the big three. We are down to 4 in the NIT. For our entire ESPN crew and the NBA champ Scott Williams, it has been fun. Good night from the OC. Final score, Irvine 81, UAB 77.